In this lecture, we're going to extend Workbox by including images. Currently, I'm viewing the application offline. It's partially functional. While not always possible, we should always offer the best offline experience. I think it would be a good idea to cache images, which are not cached by our service worker. As mentioned before, we're using Workbox. Workbox is a tool that can implement different caching strategies for you. We can tell it exactly what we want to cache, and it'll take care of the rest. It'll know when the user is offline, when to deliver cache files, and when to update the cache. It's incredibly useful. We're going to be using Workbox to help us with caching. It's important to keep in mind of one thing. Workbox will not cache API requests. This includes requests to Firebase. Workbox will solely focus on caching static assets. We'll learn how to cache Firebase requests in the next lecture. In your editor, open the vite.config.js file. Inside the configuration object, add an object called Workbox. This object can contain configuration settings for Workbox. You can refer to the Workbox documentation for a complete list of options. Inside this object, we're going to add an option called glob patterns. If you've never heard of glob, let me briefly talk about it. It's common for computer programs to search for files within a system. However, you may not have a complete list of files. Rather than providing a complete list of files, you can create a pattern. If a file matches a pattern, it'll be added to the results list. Glob is a package for searching for files with patterns. The glob patterns option is an array of patterns. Let's add the following pattern as a string. Asterisk, asterisk, slash, asterisk, .js, comma, CSS, comma, HTML, comma, PNG, comma, JPG, comma. The pattern we're using will cache JavaScript, CSS, HTML, and image files. Let's test if this is true. Switch over to the command line. If the server is running, turn it off. After doing so, run the npm run build command. Next, run the npm run preview command. In the browser, refresh the page while being online. The app is functioning perfectly fine. Let's try going offline by switching to the network panel in the developer tools. In this panel, switch to offline mode. Lastly, refresh the page. After refreshing the page, we'll continue to see the app. Workbox will deliver the files via the cache. On the network panel, we can view the list of requests made by our application. Most of the requests are working perfectly fine. Under the size column, the developer tools will inform us of the source of the files. It'll tell us that our service worker handled some of the requests. Workbox intercepted the request. It searched for the file in the cache because we're offline. If the file is in the cache, it'll respond with the file. This is why we're able to view the application. We can even browse around as if nothing went wrong. If you're interested in what files are cached, you can view them under the application panel. There's a page that will list the files that were cached by the service worker called cache storage. There's one important point I want to make. The cache won't work unless there was network connectivity on the first visit. If we were to attempt to view the application without any of the files cached, we'd be presented with a different page. We can test this by clearing the storage. On the menu, switch to the storage page. We can clear the storage completely. This will include data saved in the cache. Let's clear it out. Next, we'll refresh the page. After doing so, we'll be told we're not connected to the internet. The browser will not be able to load files from the cache. It'll default to showing the dinosaur minigame. It's important to understand this. We must have visited the application previously while we were online to be able to cache the assets. I'm going to go back online quickly. So, that's caching in a nutshell. The plugin will automatically take care of installing and configuring Workbox to cache files from the network. It'll be able to intercept requests to load the application faster. We'll continue in the next lecture.